Oh, Joshua Collin here. Thought I'd do a quick update. This is Simplicity. As you can see, the deck is off of it. Sorry. What ended up happening was it wouldn't start, and the transmission has issues. It will go forward, but real slow. Reverse is sometimes non-existent. Acts like the brake is on. Of course, the hood is busted. So. The deck is underneath there. So I brought it down to Makerspace. The deck had a bunch of dirt on it. Actually had a live worm on it. As you can see, there is a connector disconnected. This is for the solenoid. Yeah, I know, I could probably just get rid of it. But in order for it to start, is key I think has to be on the on position, and I have to supply power to this by running a jumper. 2 jumper leads is enough length to supply power to that. That will allow the engine to turn on. Transmission, like I said, has issues. I got to get the engine running in order to, yeah. And what's most likely going to happen is once I get all set and done with it, the hood's not going to go back on ever because the mounts are busted. Though, see, that one's bent and that one's, I could just get the plastic clips that go on it and then try and rebend it, but I'm not going to bother because there's no headlight. And what I'm planning on doing is taking these and putting like a LED light bar mounted right there, just so I have headlights. The engine runs decent. As you can see, it's filthy, and back there is full of oil and dirt. I just have a battery charger on it. So that tire is shot, so those were the tires for the MTD, and I'm thinking either put them on this or put them on that. I'm probably gonna focus a lot of my attention on this. I know it's a little bit bigger, but this can tow, I think, 214 pounds with the Peerless 322-0650 hydrostatic transmission. Sorry, my hands are just a little shaky. It's hot and humid, and I've been trying to start that thing. It does run. This was packed up with leaves and all that. I got to figure out why the solenoid is not really working. The disengage for the hydro doesn't work. So one nice thing about this tractor, yeah, that's the deck, is I can turn super sharp with it. So that's one nice thing about it. The rear tires are 2 completely different sizes, width-wise. So tires are all old and all that. The rear end, the reason is because I can't move it without the engine running, and it doesn't have reverse, so that's jacked up. And the reason why that front is that tire is shot. Otherwise, it runs and starts fine, even though I got to jump the starter. Oh, shoot, that's another thing I need to order. I should have ordered. So, actually, I could probably pick one up at Riley's. I need to get a new spark plug for that. Let's move on from the Simplicity. This Homelite SX135. I weed whacked around the Makerspace a little bit last week, and I mowed with a push mower. I had to replace the head on it because I am sick and tired of filling this monstrosity with line and it jamming. So I replaced it with grass gator load and cut, model 8010. I just bought it at Menards, and 2 packs of replacement line. And it would not, of course I am running gas that's a 1.5 years old. It does have fuel stabilizer on it. So I'm thinking it just does not want to start when it's warm. Oh well, I really do have the shakes. It ran nice, it just doesn't want to restart. Back into storage. As you can see, the generator is, this is where I have it parked. I just did an oil change on it today to get rid of the assembly lube that I put in the engine when I tore that apart. Good thing I did, because took me about 2 months or 3 months to get back to it. Runs nice. I think the rings are starting to rotate again back to where they feel like it. There is a slight smoke when there's no load on it. Of course, there's only about 3.25 hours on it total. So what's going to end up happening is I'm going to run it for the harvest show. Then after that, it's going to come back down here. I'm going to pull the whole thing apart again. At least I only have to pull the top part off and deal with the fuel system and adjust the valves, because according to the Yanmar, between 20 and 50 hours for the first time, you have to readjust the valves. I probably will also retorque the head while I'm at it, because I can get to those. Yeah, I can get to those bolts, I do believe, without having to pull the shrouds off. We tried with that jump pack. That jump pack is completely dead. It's been sitting for 2 to 3 years without being used since we fixed the old cabin tractor. That's the old cabin tractor now. So currently I have new key switch, new harness, new belt coming for this, and I'll probably just pick up a solenoid at O'Reilly's and replace that. Could be a broken wire. Honestly, I'm not sure. So there's that. So it is, again, this is a 38-inch deck. The deck is in somewhat better shape than the old MTD, but it's still worn. So yeah, so literally how I, like, in order to drive this out from where it sat, is I had a pair of jumper cables that I had at first, the clip hooked to this, or shoved into the connector before I pulled that out. And my feet were there, and I was controlling the hydro with this, standing on it with the seat up. I don't know if you. So the seat was up, I was standing there, a pair of jumper cables I was holding in one hand and steering with the other, just to move it so I could. Yeah, then I put a longer jumper and depinned that so I could drive it onto my friend's trailer and take it home, or actually to drop it off here. Yeah, that was kind of fun. Otherwise, yeah. I forgot to tell you what was wrong with this. Is I ended up replacing the spark plug. That helped a little. I'm running old fuel, and the bottom end was flooded. Probably from all the cranking. So yeah, that's what was wrong with that. Be right back. Thought I'd do a quick update on the 2 projects that I talked about. As you can see, the engine's clean. I just gave it a quick wipe down. I ended up pulling the carb solenoid harness out, and in order to take care of the ground, I had to remove the oil filter, but using the screwdriver method to get to the bolt that's right here. Tested it, it was fine, so I put it back in. Gave it an oil change at the process. Went with a Wix 51056 oil filter. Filters down to 19 microns. It does everything the engine should do. What the main issue was is I don't know if it was the key switch, but I got a replacement. Sorry, I got stuff all over the place. This is the old one. As you can see, this was all caked up and stuff, and yeah, it was time for a new one. So I got that. As you can see, I just, for the fun of it, I just put a new headlight switch in it. I didn't want to buy the simplicity and wait forever. So one nice thing is that it's just a standard one from O'Reilly's. What the main issue was is if I can find it. Oops. Oh, that's the dead doorknob. I'll just use my nice one. You can see down there, I have a new circuit breaker. I had to drill that hole out in order to accommodate the bolt. Luckily there's enough meat there. I went to go ahead and test it, figuring, you know what, it seems like I'm not getting any power anywhere. So what ended up happening was I went to pull this plastic cap came off. So I tested it. It was not, there was no continuity. So I ended up it worked after I played with it. So I figured, you know, it's probably that's probably the reason for the intermittent issue. So I just ended up replacing it. I don't know if you can see, but my car's out there. I use its battery to start this, and it did. Everything works now. I haven't tested the headlights because I don't have any light bulbs to run off. I'll probably, like I said, I'll probably put a LED light bar on it. With the clutch pedal depressed, I can put the key in and it'll crank and it'll fire, and I don't have to jump the battery into the carb solenoid for it to run. So that's all said and done. I went to go drain the tank as much fuel because I was thinking I had to I'll probably end up, well, I ended up pulling this. There's a metal piece in the carburetor, so I got to pull that out because this leaks. Well, that's one of the last minute jobs I'll end up doing. Probably a new fuel filter. So engine runs decent. I'm running testing purposes only some garbage fuel that I have a can of I need to burn up, and I don't really have much gas engines now anymore that can burn it efficiently and at a high rate like a four-wheeler. Oh, that's right. So this is the old circuit breaker. So sorry. Sorry for, as you can see, it's fairly corroded. And there's some rust. So it was time. That was the whole issue with this tractor, was the damn circuit breaker was the issue. But Dad says maybe the transmission might work itself out, but I'm still gonna go through it. I'm gonna still change the fluid, or at least drain it, and then see about, yeah. This thing, this Simplicity Regent 14 Hydro, has a 322 or 322-0650 Peerless hydrostatic transmission. It takes 80 fluid ounces of 10 or 20 W50, and right there, and I have 3 quarts of it. All right, at Riley's, $4, and I'll be using that. Fluid is probably dirty. There's no service interval, only when you have to service the transmission. I also got to figure out parking brake issue. Tires are one of the last things also. Thanks for watching. Please comment or subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.